All right, guys, getting ready to pull all the stainless trim off my original door panels here. I have the two rear interior panels, and then I have the original passenger side door panel from the car, but the driver's side one was missing, and I ended up, when I bought the car from the guy, he had this one. That's from a blue car, but man, these are actually still in decent shape, kinda, for the age. I'm kind of impressed, but usually when I drag a 55, 6, or 7 in, there's no door panels left because, you know, I buy them as pretty much ratted out projects. But anyway, I wanted to show how to remove your stainless trim off here, and this is pretty basic, and a lot of guys would think there's nothing to it. But there's a little trick here I want to show you that might be of interest to somebody. So this stainless trim has these little tabs that are folded over, so I'll take a really thin-edged flat blade screwdriver, and I'll get under here and just get it started upwards. You got to kind of be careful because they are old and rusty. And they are very sharp, so be careful, especially if you ain't had a tetanus shot in a while like me. So at that point, I'll take a pair of jeweler's pliers, and I'm going to put they're angled, and I'm going to put that right at the base down there so it bends straight up. Instead of like grabbing it halfway and then bending it and probably putting a little kink in it, I am going to stick it down up in there, bend it straight up like that. I should have put my glasses on. This is a little fuzzy looking up close here. So at that point, once you've got them all bent straight up and down, you could probably grab it and pull up on it, but I like to try not to kink it, so I don't put a screwdriver under nothing. Lay it flat on the concrete floor. Pull it off like that. Pops right straight up. You know, if you stick a screwdriver on the top side and you try to get it up there, you might put little nicks in it with your screwdriver, but you could. But anyway, that's how I remove my door panel stainless. So I've got to cut out new boards and everything, and I'll give this tip. Anytime, I've made a lot of door panels through the years on pretty much every car I've ever built. I've had my seats upholstered, but I bought extra material, the matching material, and I made my own door panels, package tray, kick panels, and upholstered all that myself because it's flat panels, very simple to do. I have used just about everything you can think of for the actual board itself. I've used Masonite. I've used the original style cardboard that you buy in an upholstery supply. I mean, you can even buy these boards through the Tri-5 catalogs, you know, from the company's reproduction. I've used thin plywood. I mean, I've used just about anything that I could find through the years and whatever I could afford at the time. But the problem with this cardboard is once it gets wet, or Masonite, or plywood, it warps a little bit. So you'll end up with these, looks like tumors in your door panel, big old bubbles. One thing I have done in the past to a set of cardboard ones for a 4-door 55 I used Thompson's water seal on both sides and put a couple of good coats on there. That way they pretty much resist the moisture at that point, but do the edge as well, you know. Make sure you do the sides and like get it on the edge. But anyway, so you can do that because that cardboard stuff is really not that expensive, especially when you can buy them and all the holes are pre-done and everything. You don't have to spend the time making them. But if you want something that would last probably pretty much forever, you can get, this is just a remnant piece. This is 1/8 inch ABS plastic. It has a grain on one side. This is really dirty. It has a grain on one side and it's smooth on the other, but this is 1/8 inch thick, and you can get a 4x8 sheet of this for around 50 bucks. So it is a little bit harder to work with. You know, you got to cut it out with a, you know, a cut-off wheel or whatever, but it won't warp. You know, it'll pretty much be good to go. And if you ever had to remove your door panel, it would come off easily. But now I don't use the factory reproduction or way the cars were originally. They had nails with a steel insert, you know, and every time you go to take a door panel off after you put it on, it always tweaks that metal trim piece out that has the nails in it, and you have to go back with a dead blow or a rubber mallet and kind of tap on it to get it straightened back out. They're just a pain in the butt. So I always drill the holes in the boards and I drill holes in the door, and I do the clips like a later model car would have, but they're steel. Kind of like something you'd find on a Chevelle. Like I had a 71 Chevelle built for my wife, and it had the little metal clips in there. And you can buy a box of those. I'm not sure how much those are. There's a company that makes all kinds of clips, and it's called Aveco, I think, A-U-V-E-C-O. They make all kinds of trim clips and stuff like that. But that's how I'm going to be attaching mine. That way the door panel can come on and off, and it'll still be in good shape. But anyway, just wanted to show a quick way of removing your stainless door panel trim so it's, you don't kink it or mess it up. It kind of sucks, the stainless on the doors. I never really liked this lower trim that's on the 55 Bel Airs down here, because the kick panels on these cars meet up to the front of that. They didn't have any stainless insert on them or anything, so they weren't two-toned. Now you could, get some extra trim from a, 55 or 6 or something, and probably figure something out that would work in there. Like maybe the very rear little sections from a 4-door, they had those little bitty inserts, like right below the quarter window. Those might be long enough to break that two-tone down there. It'd be a nice little detail. But I don't know, I've never tried it. But I am not putting the lowers on mine. I'm just doing a color up here, and then all of this down here will be a color. So this will pretty much up here, this will be the gray straw cloth on mine, and this whole lower will be the black Alante. But anyway, might help somebody. Just a nice quick way to remove them. Just bend your tab straight out, lay the panel face down, and kind of go around it with your fingers like that and push down, and it just pops it right up there. And that way you don't have to go under a screwdriver or, try to get a hold of it and pull it just from the end. It'll fold it up. So anyway, I know, stupid video, but may help somebody. Thanks for watching, guys.